Never has someone simultaneously won everything and yet also lost it as I have with the final episodes of Alienstage. I don't know if this is the finale or more of a the season 2 will happen thing, but this is as good of a reflection point as any. Now that most of the cast has been cremated and then had children made from their desecrated corpses, I thought I'd pick up for my previous ramble over a year ago. For those of you returning, hi, I'm in hell, and also I watch Vivinos videos sometimes. But mostly I'm in hell. To start off the analyses again, we are going to go over the basics. Alienstage, big ol' battle royale where aliens, who took over Earth and now own humans across the galaxy, send their little humans to be trained for entertainment purposes. You lose the round, then guards, humans that also work for Alienstage in a different capacity, shoot you dead, or shoot you presumed dead. My obsession lies in one particular pairing, Luka and Hyuna, if you will. These two hold the most knowledge within the series since they participated in the previous Alienstage season before veering down wildly different paths, Hyuna becoming a rebellion leader and Luka becoming a puppet starlet for this season of Alienstage. Since we're picking up right where we left off and with a very specific bias as to which pairing I'm focusing on, we're going to start with the teaser image that I lost my mind over. So, after the hilarity of round 6, Lukahyuna knew we were up to bat. Across this series, the blonde boy extraordinaire with issues and the brunette girl revolutionary who has also had issues have been the pairing with the most obfuscation. The past 2 years prior to this image has been purely guesswork off of these screenshots. That's all we got. And we were starving for more. Then, in the quiet mundane of a morning, there was only this post, with the caption reading, "I told you there was only one thing I wanted." I am going to vomit. The hand on his upper chest gripping his shirt from Hyuna, and Luka's finger pointed right under Hyuna's chest, pointing at the apex of her heart, the infatuation tinged on his blush, and the frustration etched on her face. Ooh. To make this even worse, we finally got the photo cards showing where they have the surgery to get the name tags on their body, and it just makes this artwork way more mess, because guess where they're touching? Kinda. Also, oh my god, the photo cards? How Hyuna is leaning over, horrified and in a stoop of depression, while Luka has this empty resignation to another experiment being done upon his body. When I first saw these scars, I totally zoomed into the grainy ass preview because I was convinced they were top scars for a second, but clearly they're other surgical scars. Cis and trans Luka have my heart. Okay, they both have a place in there. Okay, thank you. The full ab exposure is wild, by the way. Part 1, no songs, just childhood backstory. As if to manifest my yearning for lore, the very next image we got was... Luka, why are you like this? Oh, my poor sweet baby boy with zero understanding of how to show affection in a human interaction because you had a terrible childhood and probably are a touch neurodivergent. Actually, never mind, that explains that. He is always slobbering on other people. And really, my main concern is the fact that Hyuna is okay with this. Hyun-woo is the only dude to point out these weird vibes. Really, he's the only sane person in this entire series, so it's no wonder why he died. He'd be too powerful if he lived. But if there ever was a way to show that Luka's clinginess was condoned, then this is probably the moment for it. Hyuna brushes off these really invasive moments as him just being sweet. Like in the first comic where Luka says that she belongs to him and Hyuna coos over his concerning phrasing. The images where he's crumpling the flowers in his hand and the ones he's braided into Hyuna's hair are haphazardly placed. It's a love overflowing, dysregulated, in contrast to the neat rose Hyuna braids into his own soft locks. She's laughing. For her, This is just another day. It was easy in this dynamic for Luka to cross lines without repercussion, and to not understand that he was crossing them in the first place, which will end how we expect it to. There's an interesting little bit of foreshadowing in the interviews with Hepru, the alien who created Luka. He states that his secret to having Luka win was to make him overcome fear. That the best training method was to simply create the perfect pet, mold him spine and sinew and flesh, in the cold womb of a test tube, make him overcome fear. He tortures him. An exclusive training for Luka and Luka alone. Hepru makes him surpass death, conditions this child to think that it's just another phase. He can rise above it. Luka's already weak heart can handle the stress of having it stop and start, heartbeat fluctuating in rhythms deadly and disturbing, ventricular tachycardia, SVT, third-degree heart blocks. You created him over and over and over, and this is your reward. But it's not enough, so he starves him. Luka, the one confirmed in this comic to have the biggest appetite in the group, has such a strict diet that he never gets to eat much. After all, how would his popularity drop if he was seen with even a modicum of weight? And in that hunger, he sees how Hyuna is showered with praise, her popularity with humans granting her far more sweets than he'd ever be allowed. His birthday art shows him staring at a cake, bundled up, with no one by his side in the snow. But it's not enough. So Hepru cuts him open, replaces his organs over and over and over and over, and he will never die. No, he will live to never know peace, never know autonomy, because he is a tool to be used, and he has to make it long enough to show his worth on the stage. Understandably, this is going to mess Luka up, and honestly, it explains a lot. I am furious. Luka has turned inward. His world has grown smaller. His love, as shown in the coffin merchandise and combined with what's been shown in the art books, is something that he knows is anxious. But he will try. For Hyuna, he would try anything. And Hyuna's justice, her love that outpaces anything else, will it survive him? Also, to clarify, every child in, Unkt, I don't actually know the pronunciation, I just said Unkt the entire time last video, because I missed one of the, letters that was prominently in the spelling of it, but anyways, every child in Unkt goes through training for Alienstage because it's a reference to pop idol industries and their own terrible methods. What stands out to me is that they have tossed Hyuna into a vat of liquid as a superiority test. Hyunwoo wrapping his arms tight along the surface of the test chamber. Are they drowning her? How does this test superiority? I have to know what I'm looking at. The medical shit in Alienstage is fascinating to me. Ooh, the way they're monitored in bathtubs, it's like little worms. What's up, dude? The first thought that comes to mind is aliens monitoring them so that they don't drown themselves, but that's because I live in Dark Media Land. So speaking of Dark Media Land, part 2 of the songs! I have been waiting to hear a Lukahyuna duet for actual years, and while Ruler of My Heart finally getting a Hyuna version isn't a duet, it is in the same key as Luka's, and also has his voice underlaying her voice in a little parts and pieces of it. So this means that the speed at which people mashed these two together into a shared song was tremendous. Look at their bunny versions singing out this absolute bop. They're so fluffy, so happy, and I would invite you to ignore the lyrics of the song. The way Hyuna provides a somber cadence, tired and singing as if she's repeating a song she wishes wasn't stuck in her head, pretending a problem doesn't exist, her hand covering her face as if she's trying to forget the horror of Luka's shine. But it keeps going on loop. If only it would stop. And so, we're at the supposed finale, the end of duets and rounds for the season of Alienstage proper. I suppose someone's heart is going to stop, one way or the other. Part 3, Blink On. I was so ready for a Till versus Luka round, in particular because of that one drawing Qmeng posted of Luka like having a nosebleed over Till in a maid dress. I wanted the gaslighting, I wanted the gatekeeping, I wanted Luka to curb stomp Till, or vice versa. Honestly, I would prepare for either of them to die at this time. It had been like 6 months since the previous round, so I was so deprived. I woke up at 4 a.m. without planning to, and my first instinct was to watch the train wreck of these two interacting. Something that I'm editing so I can post on a Patreon. Oh god, oh no. The horror of knowing that Alienstage was supposed to be over like much quicker than it was, since, you know, Till's doing this round right after Ivan died in like the timeline of Alienstage. This round was probably postponed because Luka was beaten up by Mizzy and Hepro wanted his perfect pet's good looks to be back on, but oh my god, come on. Blood is still metaphorically on Till's pants, man. The bro has had 0 time to cope. If you're wondering what my reaction was, I was having a good time, and I was very disappointed that there was no Luka Till kiss, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's not like I have like plans to draw these two, and it's not like anything in the series would ever happen that would make me attach myself to this pairing. The absolute sluttery of Luka's outfit here is incredible, and his back is like really big. This has nothing to do with the actual analysis. I'm just here for the free show. But like, it's so The Devil Went Down to Georgia, except we have no fiddle. He's got a violin instead. Of course Luka would play a violin. And he plays it like so incredibly, and his singing has so many peaks in it, and I love this toxic test tube man. Outside of the free show, this video further emphasizes what Luka has been doing from the start. He has learned to maintain his heartbeat, to overcome the fear of death that Till is actively fighting against, taking on the traits of Ivan that Luka assumes will dismantle Till's ability to compete. Just like he did with Mizzy in their round, and what he's presumably done in every other one. And he loves it, his emotions seeping through in every frame, laughing his ass off at other people's misery, along with his anger once he sees that Till is breaking through the manipulation, once he sees Mizzy. Like, ooh, his training seems to embed this very eerie thrill into his actions. This is all a game, because when you're not worrying about yourself dying, who cares what happens to anyone else? But it's never just about Luka. No. Hyuna's single-minded plan on completing her mission, making sure to never look up at the radiance that this blonde has on the stage, is foiled, to my happiness and to her dismay. The build-up Lukahyuna fans have had for an eternity actually paid off, because they are staring at each other for the first time in universe in almost a decade. It's real. Oh, it's real. My will to live is so back. What catches me off guard is how off character this is for them. Hyuna doesn't look like someone who hates his ass as much as Luka doesn't look like the manipulative persona he's embedded on the stage. The light on his earpiece reflecting his mental state, his heartbeat, finally turns yellow, then red. Their gazes are awkward and uncertain, and he, as indicated in the post-season/series comics, is the last person she ever wanted to see. Because if things had all gone to plan, then this would have never happened. Hyuna wouldn't have to face her brother's killer. Part 3, Viga and Karma positives/deep dive. The benefit of loving two characters that haven't interacted the entire series is that the moment these two got a scene together, the quality of Alienstage like shot through the roof. Viga is one of the most stunning animations and use of compositing I've ever seen. Look at this. Woof. The song is a waltz, a tentative dance, something that every child in the garden learned, and a source of comfort in being so. There is a tenderness in the way Luca's voice softens, fades into the background so his idol can claim the spotlight. They sing over each other's parts in the story, and then their voices merge together, inevitably intertwined, tangled. I've heard people describe Viga as a lullaby, one they'd sing to their child as they try to lull them back into a soft slumber. Safe. The Morse code in the background, according to people who are far cooler than me, and also people who are non-official resources. That's right, non-official resources, so take it with grains of salt, is the word alive, repeated, as if she's the only thing reminding him. Their lyrics, in their soft and somber voices, describe the quiet longing both of them have for things they cannot hope to reach. An end to their shared agonies, to the agonies everyone in Alienstage has experienced. They're both weakened by the horrors they've bared witness to, but they reach out and embrace. And we hear Hyuna talking. I have been waiting. I've wanted to hear them yap so bad. Give me the Luca and Hyuna full conversation. Drop the MP3. Alienstage could go crazy on voice CDs. Like fully voiced scenarios would be heaven. I just yearn for a Dandelion Wishes Brought to You Christmas special CD with Jian, guys. This is a reference that two people care about, and one of them is me. Okay, let's delve into this. Viga means cradle, and as portrayed in this art along with the scene in the video, Luca has got attachments. Those attachments being very much a poster of Hyuna. His love seems to hurt her, and the phrase, "your existence is my cradle," holds such a sad connotation when we look back at Luca's past, because clearly the test tube baby theory was correct. Luca has dozens of clones, and while I know it looks like he was trying to kill them with his little bitch-ass knife, it actually reads to me like he was trying to free them. The horror, the tears on his features, combined with the green and red fluids matching the color of the pods. Haparu doesn't seem like the type of alien parent that would let Luca have friends, nor does he give a damn that human beings require socialization to survive. And so, Luca seems to have sought out friendship with the closest thing he's got, his clones. But obviously these ones weren't meant to live, acting as organ donors for Luca, or they weren't fully developed, and thus, he is hit with the chilling reality that he is replaceable. This moment, in my mind, marks the beginning of Luca's disreality, a sense that what he's experiencing is not real, and that he doesn't matter. And so he starts to question if he's really alive. And that's where Hyuna comes in. He, in multiple images, is kissing the wanted poster of her, clinging to the comfort she brought him in their earliest days together. Present in the countless posters scattered across his husk of a room, the flowers they braided in each other's hair, the Rubik's Cube she scrambled for him to solve, and wow, I cannot believe that scene in Black Sorrow was symbolic of Luca wanting her back. They were plotting this early. He's watched by aliens through a blurry security camera, and I imagine his obsessions must look odd. The fact that I headcanoned that all these peeps were monitored in their rooms, oh god, they have no privacy. They never had privacy. They're monitored outside too, is bad. They were monitored and yet they couldn't, stop this dude from killing Hyunwoo. Anyways, we have this little mood board of moments that could have been in Viga. Moments where Luca hits himself and Hyuna stops him. You can see he's very self-destructive. Moments where he crushes a bug and looks down blankly at its corpse. It seems to be some type of caterpillar. And it also seems like Hyuna is looking at him in this moment through a doorway. What I've gleaned from niche discussions of the series' art book, Luca is inspired by The Little Prince. And when I was reading through The Little Prince and skimming it and trying to find stuff for this video, one thing that stood out to me is that The Little Prince has an adoration for a rose that he realized, while this rose wasn't the only one there was, she was the one he worked hard to take care of, the one he killed caterpillars for, the one he holds as the most important. It's a love he cherishes. It's also shown in the love-hate artwork how much Luca keeps going back to her memory, clinging to her. Yuna counted her fingers alongside his when they first met, which, as per a Patreon post I have zero access to, was something Luca was doing to prove he was still alive. She's laughing with him, hugging him, and she is the most human thing Luca knows, a person that grounds him, and thus, even after years and years, she's still his cradle. Whether Luca is one to Yuna within this art is up for debate. I personally believe that she wants the past, but being someone who knows the fragility of human life, someone that knows things can never go back to the way they were, feels incredibly guilty whenever she thinks of him, as if she, too, doesn't deserve to cling to the nostalgia and joy he used to provide to her. This was established already in All In, but we got a little more confirmation than before. She can only think about looking ahead, and as such, avoids thinking about Luca altogether. Thus the drinking and smoking. Although, obviously, she's still going through it. Like, in Karma, she has a scratched-up poster of him, like Luca has one of her. And in Viga, there's a dart pinning, from my interpretation, a fancier version of Luca's signature, along with flashbacks she has in her head to him singing with her brother. Side note, I love when I write about the weird level of clinginess these two have to each other. Look at the Fruity Heart merch. Yes, that's what it's called. Oh, get it, King. Slay. It's a slay. We can never stop being in horny stage. I also jumped when this image popped up in one of the comics with Yuna reflecting on her thoughts on this dude. I was really going through it, but but it sucks. My girl keeps suffering. You deserve better, queen. Yuna finds her motivations because of their shared tragedy, a future in which no one has to suffer like they have. But is that enough to survive on? It's chill. What's not so chill, of course, is Luca's lovely decision as a little teeny tiny baby boy to kill Hyunwoo. We see Luca was clinging onto Hyuna in the moments before Hyunwoo started the fight, tears streaming down his face, and then have a sharp cut to Luca winning, running to Hyuna with a big, exuberant smile, blood coating his face. There's a couple of ways to interpret this moment, especially since Luca doesn't seem to fully comprehend what he's done is a murder. He smiles again next to Hyuna as she cries over Hyunwoo's grave, ashes falling down that are revealed previously to be the ashes of dead children, and thus they are presumably her brother's ashes. Great. Luca is comforting her, even though he is the root of her distress. His experiences with his clones, his loneliness, the way Hepru trained him to stop feeling fear, has all coalesced into this moment. He, from my interpretation, has just won a fight, like he would have in the competition, and the expected response from that is praise. His capacity for understanding, empathy, is overshadowed by what's been instilled in him. It's not like he doesn't care, though. His childhood drawings shows that he considered Hyuna, his clones, and Hyunwoo as family, and a childhood memories drawing shows that his interpretation of these memories has him scratch out. Another piece of art shows each clone surrounding him. He's drowning. He's disgusted. He's disgusting. Something to discard. Hyuna's solo songs, Take My Hand and Love and Peace, can be interpreted as also being about Luka. Her yearning to reach out, but wanting to stay as far away as she can. Something about that hurts, considering he has this feeling that he's dispensable. Especially with how the comic Our Diva highlights how Hyuna has never forgiven herself for the shame she harbors, the way she's buried down her brother's death, that despite it all, she still loves Luka. How could someone ever do that? See the way his brilliance unfolds on the stage. She can't face him. Her life isn't in her hands anymore, and so she's crushed under the pressure. Fails her first Alienstage round, her leg crunched beneath the weight of a rebel. In her eyes, she believed her ire was always towards Luka, on this creature that has only known how to deal with and cause suffering. But her new surroundings, new family, made her realize where those frustrations truly lied. And in these pieces, it shows them in full. She is fed by hate, and he is starved by love. And I've been waiting for the variation on this photocard set for like months. So I'm really happy to see it. God, my poor boy is crying. Oh, it's not gonna be the last time. Okay, we're back. We're back to prolonged eye contact. It took a while to get here. Oh my god, I am never writing this much again. The way Luka's gaze instantly softens seeing Hyuna across the stage, gun pressed into his head. You can see his tail wag. It's so cute. And you can feel Hyuna curl inward, avoiding his gaze until she can't. Luka's a hostage, but he feels the years of scraps collected, the bits and pieces of her he's seen on the news, and instantly reverts back. His cradle is here, and if there's any source of comfort they can have in this world, as his quote in the art book states, it's within each other's arms. And she sees him running, rushing. She closes in, arms wide, 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 and he can feel her curl around him, feel the warmth of her body around his skin, and feel her jerk when she's shot. Gamers, emphasis on the gay. I have thoughts about her dying this quickly without any real chat, and the fact that we're still scrambling for lore off of theories instead of, the actual videos explaining anything. So many thoughts. We'll get to them. But for now, the rocket. Its construction was called, okay, I can pronounce, I'm so cool, Eshin Project. Greek is an incredible language, and it's one that I don't speak. This is, of course, a reference to a guy with the same name in Greek mythology. He is known for his ability to change the course of the winds, which makes this line in Karma way more interesting. Hyuna invading Alienstage is her trying to fulfill her new family's dream of creating a rocket that sends golden records across space, which is why she was going file digging in Blanc Gone. She was probably trying to find coordinates. These golden discs, presumably containing music, are intended to spread the rebels' message and return to Earth, the cradle. And they immediately hark back to the golden records humans actually sent into space way back when. They contained different languages, images of life on Earth, basically the depths of humanity as a way to communicate with aliens. Which gives this really chilling implication that the aliens in this series probably found humans because of these records. Hyuna, after being shot, narrates to Luka how he should find it in himself to forgive his faults like Hyuna forgave her own, to live in a way that she's been dodging for a long time. A love that nurtures growth, not the past, and it should feel like a soothing, sad thing. But there's something about the combination of the rocket rising up, the Rebels' grainy logo on the footage, that feels incredibly scary. There's no turning back, and it genuinely freaked me out. The wedding moments, though, were wild to see. I was not prepared to bear witness. Luka and Hyuna, for context, are shown with rings in an alternate universe, and they look absolutely overjoyed, and I am going to jump off a cliff. Congrats on the wedding. Sorry for the divorce. I knew they'd get married. In every universe, huh? God damn it. In terms of music, Karma 2 absolutely bodied me. The bossa nova is delicious. Was not prepared to get jazzed out of my mind. Love me some jazz. And the chills when the strings rev up as Mizzy hears Till's heartbeat. Ooh, good shit. Good shit. Love to see that Mizzy finally got to save someone she cares about. Also, I cannot believe Isaac got speaking lines too. It's so wild. All of this is out of left field. The use of calm, sparkling strings comboed with Mizzy's crashing out and this imagery when she's botched the rocket's trajectory, thinking she lost all of her family, was hilarious in the best way possible. Mwah. Girly pop made her issues everyone else's problem. That moment of hilarity, though, is contrasted by a few things. When the rocket crashes down, you can see how humans, the people Hyuna intended this message of freedom for, are laughing. It's so funny. What great entertainment. What a silly premise. There is no escape. There's also the way Luka, upon witnessing Hyuna's corpse, projects himself onto a time where they first met, a place where he would have been comforted by her instead of confronted with reality. Mizzy then hitting him like she did in round 5 feels, instead of satisfying, heartrending. He's finally vulnerable, a kid once again seeking solace, and unlike where he took the punches with a smirk in the previous rounds, he puts his hands up to cover his face, and it's just, my boy, I feel so bad. This isn't what he wanted. Mizzy, he's already down on the ground, come on. Ugh, man. He's just left to face the dead body that started it all. My god. Ugh. The segments in Karma showing each person's twisted love as described by Mizzy, and the Lukahyuna section shows how Hyuna gave so much of her love that she shattered, and Luka's attempts to give his own were futile, for his heart sits pristine in his own hand. You can also see Hyunwoo's dead body leaning over them both, a plague, and Luka finally wearing black instead of his spotless white. A knife to the chest, tears streaming down his face. His love hurts her. Isaac and Mizzy's lines, too, harken back to the way love is treated within Alienstage, to be wanted so desperately that you harm who you adore. Whether it's instinct or selfishness, how do you blame someone who has never even known a healthy love? How do you expect them to cultivate something from nothing? And yet, is that not what aliens expect? They took blood samples from every one of the cast and morphed them all together, not caring for who wanted to be with who, just pure scientific obsession. Mizzy's commentary on Hyuna is surprisingly poignant and so fucking funny. Girl, she really said, babe, you could have just kissed him and no one would have cared. Very delusions of domesticity of her. Tangent also, since we're tangenting already. I accidentally misinterpreted Hyuna's feelings toward Mizzy in my last Alienstage video as romantic in a passing, aw, this girl's so cute way, because I couldn't tell since their interactions toe this line like so much. Get ready to crucify me, but I was planning to apologize in more silly ways after I realized this, but then this image got posted. So before this image, I reinterpreted them as hesitant friends, with Hyuna not knowing boundaries more than her just being like sisterly or romantic. But Vivinos, I guess, will just never let me know. How do I interpret this? What's your really hot theory, guys? I gotta know. Segueing back, even if humans are supposedly the root of this exploitation, they are also the ones that bring about change, ride the wind to a better time, creating love that contradicts what aliens expect, because they all live in a world where humans are to be used, not cherished. With that in mind, Luka tries to repair what he has left. He, at least from what I've seen, and many people have pointed out, seems to have tidied Hyuna's clothes. And looking at her face, he seems to have even wiped the blood off of it. It shows this devastating attempt at maintaining her image, keeping her comfortable. He's cold, left to stare at her corpse as the fire from the rocket crashes down and burns him alive. And then we get a 7-year time skip, and things still suck. The fact that kids were made from Luka's blood, combined with countless others in the cast, and that they're all used in a museum to showcase the tragedy 7 years ago in Alienstage, it's so vile. The way I gasped, though, when I saw this dude in particular, was probably not normal, but they combined Luka and Hyuna's blood, and also Sua's DNA, since, like, this person also has their eyes, because obviously none of the ships can win. But oh my god, oh, I can't imagine. Luka is already so fucked over with this reality, the loss of his cradle, the hell that he had gone through, and we know he has clones. How messed up is this going to make him once he sees that a part of Hyuna and him are alive, but not in a way that either of them wanted? Oh, I hate it. Oh, give these kids a big hug. No one needed to go through this. He's like 37, let him rest in peace. Especially because in these past 7 years, Luka's still been alone. Although he's celebrated, he is in the same awful place, the same awful cycle. His burns treated through years of skin grafts, surgeries, recovery, rehab, back to surgery, back to the stage, back. And in it all, there's the image of him returning with 2 rings on his finger. The rings that could have been shared between him and Hyuna in another life, now left on him as a sole reminder of her. With spaced out eyes, he's finally wearing black in front of aliens, as if to mourn the only love he's ever known. And as wonderful as that is, it sucks that a lot of their story is not shown. Part 4, the critiques. Gamers, are you emotionally secure enough to detach yourself from a fandom you've used as a way to cope with life? Because if not, I don't think you should watch this part. Okay, bye. Guys, I think the pacing after Blink On kind of deteriorated in our hands. I am looking at the sands of time, and they are dissolving in front of me. Luka and Hyuna's story feels really incomplete and rushed. The way that Viga and Karma are presented within the story is with finality. It shows these people's lives 7 years into the future, an epilogue to the story, and it also shows what could have been. The series does this as if each pairing has had a satisfying conclusion at the end of the season, in the sense that we know the motivations behind these characters, the stories behind them, what happened fully in their past, and how those motivations, those stories, have led them to where they are. And I would say that for most everyone, yes, we've done that. Except I can't say that because I still have no idea what the fuck is up with Lukahyuna. Guys, I still don't know much of anything about these two. I have only made assumptions off of scraps. The smatterings of backstory we've gotten from Viga, which was the only time they have interacted in the current day of Alienstage, and had major flashbacks actually showing what happened in their story, the reveals were so minimal that I felt genuine whiplash when the video pivoted to showing them married in an alternate universe in between the frame-by-frame snippets of their childhood. Like, don't get me wrong, I fucking adore this AU. I wouldn't have written an illustrated fan comics about them in it if I didn't. But I'll be the first to say this pretentiously on a YouTube channel, I guess. It is unearned. They don't deserve this. because I don't think that they have the emotional weight, the buildup of their confrontation enough to justify showing them happy in each other's arms. We, in Weige, are in the middle of their divorce arc. We are trying to digest what is up with these two, the outstanding questions being, what drew them to each other? How did they live with each other for over a decade after Hyunwoo's death? Do they still care? And why? And while we got answers to how they got attached in the first place, the knowledge that Hyuna clings onto this childhood version of him just as much as Luka clings onto the version he has of her, it still doesn't fully make sense that she took a bullet for him. Obviously, it was an impulse. She saw him bright-eyed just like he was when he was little, but the moment that gets overlaid between this is him walking to her after he's killed her brother. So it just feels a touch off that this is the time where she's like, oh yeah, the guy who killed my brother, let me wrap my arms around him. Like, it's her revenge, yes. We'll get to it. I'm going off script. Okay. At least in this point, it doesn't make sense, because there's still one important question, one unanswered piece that would make both of their motivations much, much clearer. In the 15 plus years they were trapped together in the Anakta garden after Hyunwoo's death, what did they do? Because those experiences, I feel like, would provide so much more justification. It is the in-between spaces after trauma that fascinates people. We know that Hyuna pretended as if Hyunwoo's death didn't loom over her, but what does that mean in the context of her interactions with Luka? Did she avoid him too because he just reminded her of the worst moments of her childhood? Did she grow closer to him as a way to try and prevent this from happening to anyone else? Did she go to him only when her need for the past, for an escape into nostalgia, outweighed the pain? Where does this image fit in all of this? I still want to know when he decided to kiss her in the weirdest vibe possible, and the aftermath. Was this before or after Hyunwoo's death? A cause of it? Is this kiss one of comfort, because kissing is seen as a comfort within Alienstage instead of a romantic context? Is it another obsessive impulse, a boundary Luka crossed? I don't know. This image holds back a lot of the fandom, rightfully so, because no one knows the full context, and we have never gotten it. In those moments, those years in between, is also a distinct insight into Luka and how aware he was of the pain he caused to Hyuna, if at all. We have never gotten a comic or anything like that showing Luka's thoughts. But we know from what we can glean that he is a very perceptive person. He wouldn't be transforming into ghost versions of other people's beloveds if he wasn't. Was that perception outweighed by his pure obsessiveness, his need to monopolize Hyuna's attention? Or were there moments of tenderness in these years, too, that shaped her, made her realize that this boy may never understand the weight of what he's done unless he faces her corpse, but also made her realize that he cares, unabashedly. He wants to do his best, even if, in this universe, it will never make her happy. It's important backstory for her longing. The phrasing within the comics she has, I finally hold you in my arms. This is my revenge. It's a haphazard revenge, a yearning, all in one. You hurt me, but you're all I have wanted since, and it is disgusting, and I despise you, and I wish you were mine, just as much as I wish I was yours. A terrible puzzle. But I hope you figure it out. And he still keeps that puzzle close, scrambled, because he has no one left for him to solve it for. I just want to know. We see how he is in Weige. Yes, Luka's incredibly puppy dog towards her to a hilarious level. You have a gun to your head and you just don't care. Maybe taking away this dude's fear of death was a bad idea, Heparu. As a pet human, I have to say. But a little baseline context, in the vein of a Mizisua video, to slow down the pacing so it isn't just death, supposed death, and then death. any of this would do wonders for pulling back the veil of confusion behind these two. I think rearranging the way that Viga and Karma are presented would also do wonders in this regard. Just having a respite, an explanation. If you wanted the pause in pacing to be in real time for these two, instead of a video of them in the past breaking up the breakneck pacing, maybe have a moment where Hyuna's holding the gun to Luka and has a substantial amount of time to debrief with him. Maybe have Hyuna get captured for a day and the rebels' plans get postponed until she gets her laptop back. Have her run with Luka, even, as like a hostage or a bargaining chip for the aliens. And then have Hyuna get shot in the next video or near the end, while also showing what could have been. Going into Karma, you can show their wedding bands, everyone else's ideal lives, the regrets, the gusher hearts getting gushed. God, everyone's getting gushed except for them. That would feel way more conclusive than the haphazard mashup of Luka and Hyuna's story, spliced with everyone else's alternate universe selves. Along with this, if you're wondering how the timeline worked for Vika, Hyuna got shot and then we got comics about her perspective on Luka, and then Karma expanded on them just a little bit. So it made the pacing feel really weird because Hyuna got shot, but we just didn't know why. Like, it felt really weird with all the information that we could glean, why she would take the bullet for him. I ended up really exhausted once Hyuna died because it felt like 3 supposed deaths in a row, and it was all on the same day for these characters. The tentative balance this series had early on with managing main character death and backstory felt tipped into an unfortunate direction. At least that's my 2 cents. I don't really matter in this, and I still enjoyed the experience. Whether or not we get more songs or not, I know there's rumors and official stuff, but I don't know. I still love Lukahyuna. It's because I love these losers so much that I'm willing to fight this hard. Especially since, without any of the backstory context that we don't have, Hyuna's death and her wish for Luka to live with love going unfulfilled, him suffering skin grafts and treatments for 7 years just to be tossed back into performing, resembles a kick to the shins of her character arc in his. We'll get there though. One of the comics probably is gonna be about them, you know? Or not. Oh well. Womp womp. Even if they didn't get the best fulfillment, Alienstage is still unbelievably gorgeous, and the themes of love and exploitation, the songs, the world building, holds a deep eldritch horror and beauty that I'll keep coming back to. I just thought that this resting spot could have been a tad better executed. I never expect perfect storytelling because imperfect stories are a part of humanity. To deny them, to deny your own joy because you expect perfection in every story beat, is to become alien.